You're live.
Thank you. Hi all, and welcome to the YBMB show. It's the Friday business show today. As you know, I run this 3 times a week. What we do, me and my team, my lovely team in the background running all this. Mondays we talk about body, and Wednesdays we talk about mindset, and Fridays we talk about business. And today I wanted to talk about how long it takes to build a business, because I do get asked that sometimes. And I see a lot of, entrepreneurs especially on Instagram. You hear a lot at the beginning about what they're going to be doing, and then sort of just goes a bit quiet. So I thought I would sort of talk to you about the stats of actual businesses, how long it takes before they thrive, the fall off rate, and conclude at the end how long it takes to build a business. So if you look at the actual stats, I looked just this morning at the stats for this country, and I'll tell you about the wider global situation in a minute. But in the UK, just this month, there has been about 503,000 closures in the last month of businesses. That doesn't mean to say necessarily they failed, but they just closed. Some failed, some just closed. There was 843,000 starts. So that sort of basically reflects what happens most months, to be honest with you, is that there's about a third eventually businesses sort of carry on beyond a certain point. I'll tell you what those points are. When you look at all businesses and how long they last, about 20% fail after 1 year. And if you look at the 5-year picture, by the time at the end of 5 years, 50% have failed or closed, let's say. So 1 in 2. And by the time you get to 10 years, then there's about a third left. So, the odds of having a business 10 years plus is about 1 in 3. So that's the first thing to know. So how can you increase the odds for yourself? I think the first thing is to go in with this expectation that a business is not going to, be something that you start today and this time next year, it's going to be turning over millions, and you can sort of go and, do other things. The laptop lifestyle, as they talk about it, that doesn't bear out in the stats, and that is very, very rare for that to happen. It is, a long, hard slog to both start a business and build it and make it sustainable. It's very well worth it. Having done it myself, I can vouch for that. But it's certainly not easy, and I don't know anybody who has got a good business where it's not been all sorts of difficulties that they've had to overcome. There's highs and lows along the way. So I thought what I would do is just explain to you I looked at some other stats, and this is more globally now, some of the reasons that businesses close. And they looked at several 100,000 businesses, and they asked for the reasons for closure. And I'll go through some of them with you in order of, sort of top down. So the first reason for closing a business was that they had run out of cash. So the situation normally happens there is that, when you start a business, if you're not careful, you put a lot of cash into setting up whatever it is that you're going to sell, whether that is a service or whether that is a product. So you spend all this time setting it up. Inevitably, that costs you time, not just time, but money as well. And then you sort of, you put it out to market, and then you find that the money's not coming in quite as quickly as you wanted. Before you know it, you sort of run out. So that's the one of the top reasons is running out of cash. So there's lots of answers to that, and I can address these another time, but that's one to be mindful of. The second one is, and these two are related really, it's about having a product that really, is wrong for the market. Either the market doesn't want it, or you just targeted the wrong market. And if that's the case, then no matter how great your product is, you're not going to be able to sell it. It's a bit like trying to sell snow to Eskimos. So if you have the wrong market, then you're not going to be able to sell the product. And so, researching your market up front is very, very important. The next one is to do with, your pricing. So say, for example, now you have the right product, you have the right market, and, you've got some cash to sort of carry on with, but still these sales are not coming through. And this could be because it's the wrong pricing structure. And so sometimes, people don't take note of the client value ladder, i.e. They're expecting to sell what we call high ticket items to a client that's never come across them before. And very rarely are you able to sell something, no matter how great it is, at the beginning, if you don't actually know the client, or they've never heard of you before, and you're a brand new brand. So you've really got to have a low cost entry sort of level product or service first of all. Make sure that the client knows about it, enjoys it, and then after that you can start to sell your high ticket items. That's that next one. After that, we come on to the actual marketing and the branding, because part of having the client know, like, and trust you is that they know about you. And so often we can end up becoming the best kept secret, and we don't do good enough marketing, or prolific enough marketing, or consistent enough marketing, and just no one knows who you are as a business, doesn't know your brand, doesn't know your product or your service, and consequently you just end up not being able to get a big enough audience. Nothing wrong with the products, nothing wrong with your pricing, nothing wrong with your actual niche, but you just don't have enough clients. So that is another reason for people to for their business to close, basically. Another one is to have the wrong people. So if you can get your business to a certain level by doing it yourself, and especially if you're very passionate about a product and you've got a great network and everything, you can get the business to a really good place, with a very small team, or even just by yourself. But if you really want to grow it and keep it going, you have to scale it. And that means you have to put systems and processes in place. And very often, entrepreneurs just don't like that sort of stuff. They're not good at it either, because they don't like it. They don't put systems in place. And as it grows, it starts to fall apart. So systems and processes, and having the right people to be able to put these systems in place and run with them is really, really critical. Another one is losing focus. As I said to you, this is normally quite a long haul, running a business. And so, many of the reasons for closing a business is that, the owner just loses focus. They're sort of thinking about what else is it they want to do. Maybe they're looking to pivot because of what, is going on outside. So they're looking outside and they're thinking, we could sort of also diversify into this, that, or the other. Basically what happens is they lose focus on their core product or their core service that's generating all the revenue. And before they know it, they've gone back to the beginning, really, and they're now not, earning the revenue that they needed to. And the business starts to fail. And that's literally just because, they lost focus. Another one is, I suppose, associated with that, which is lacking passion. They just get bored with it. And this is sort of quite a danger as well. Once you've done it for a few years and, things are running day in, day out, and especially if you do have your systems now, there is a temptation to go and do other things. People start to feel that life is short. What's it all about? They've got enough money to sustain their lifestyle, and they just want to do something else. And I certainly think we've seen that in COVID, where, restaurants and things, they could have reopened, but they just haven't, because they've been going for so long. And the business owners just thought, I never probably would have stopped. And I was talking to a business owner about this, and, this was the time to stop. And now they've really reevaluated and just decided that they're just going to stop now and not sort of carry on with it. So that's sometimes it's just life. People don't want to go on beyond sort of 10 years and just don't want to carry on with it anymore. Other reasons are probably relating to pivoting. They make a mistake with the pivoting. So they look and see what they think is going to happen, and it doesn't actually happen. So, I don't know, someone thinks that they should diversify into a particular sector. They try to diversify into that sector, and there's just no demand, for it. So that doesn't work. I think, there was lots of other little reasons why, why businesses close, but those would be the bulk of them. And just to sort of summarize, either it's the wrong product, it's not a user-friendly and not a desirable product or service in the first place. So maybe the entrepreneur thought that it would be and it isn't. Or alternatively, it's not innovative enough, and maybe, competition have done one better. Alternatively, it could be that the pricing structure is wrong. So although it's great, it just doesn't make sense. The value is not there as far as the client's concerned. It's just too expensive. The marketing might not be right. So alongside that, the sales process may be wrong. It's amazing sometimes, you have businesses where they're selling and then you come to buy something and it's a really complex sort of mechanism to actually buy it from them. And so, people have got short attention span at the moment. So they just, won't persevere and just go and buy from somewhere else. So that can often be the case. On the financial side, we talked about cash flow. You can run out of cash. There could also be legal challenges as well. Reasons why a business has to close, maybe because contracts are not renewed and things of that nature. The systems, as I said, just basically the scale is not possible because it's just not systemized enough. And if you don't have that, then scale, then you're not going to ever be able to sort of exit in terms of selling it to an investor, because they'll realize that as soon as you go as the owner, then the business sort of goes as well. I think that's probably it. These are lots of the reasons why businesses fail. And I suppose, we all work very, very hard in business to make sure these don't happen to us. But you've seen the stats that I said at the beginning, that this does happen. One of those things happens, to 80% of businesses by the time 10 years goes by, to 50% of businesses by the time 5 years goes by. So if you want to be a business that is thriving, then, go in it for the long haul. And, on YBMB, we have many business modules where I teach you a blueprint really to address all of these things, to try and preempt these things. It's based on, my own sort of 20 years working in corporates and then 20 years running businesses, going on all sorts of different business programs, ranging from ones with big names like Goldman Sachs through to ones with, well-known sort of Instagram sort of influence, I suppose you call them, but good business people as well, like Grant Cardone and Gary Vee, of course, Tony Robbins, his business mastery. So all of that knowledge and information is wrapped up in our YBMB program, alongside experience of all my sort of various different business colleagues and network that I've used across the years. And, they've sort of come on the podcast and given us the benefit of their knowledge. So all of that is wrapped up in our modules as well. So I'll leave it there. I'm just doing a sort of nice, gentle step workout today. Lovely weather out there. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And if you are going to go into business, go in it with your eyes open, realise it's for the long haul, realise that there is much more to it than maybe meets the eye. But if you can navigate all of these things, then it is absolutely worth it. So take